Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping straight into something pretty heavy. Handling your money after a layoff.
Yeah, it's a tough situation many face.
We've got this great resource, though, the notes from a coaching event all about this transition. We want to pull out the key strategies for you.
Exactly. Give you some, actionable steps to feel more in control and build resilience for the future.
Because let's be honest, losing a job throws everything up in the air. Lots of uncertainty, anxiety. It's natural.
Completely. Financial worries can be, well, overwhelming. But the good news is there are concrete things you can do right away.
And guiding us is the thinking of Jen Nash. She's got this really interesting background, 15 years in the public sector, now a money coach.
A heart-centered social worker turned money coach. Yeah. That combination is pretty unique.
It means she gets the emotional side and the, let's say, bureaucratic hoops.
Yeah.
Right. Especially for public sector folks.
Absolutely. She's lived it, understands the system, the specific worries that come with that kind of career path. It's very grounded advice.
So our mission today is clear. Unpack Jen Nash's core advice from that Rise After Layoffs event. We're looking for immediate relief, then stabilization, and finally, long-term security.
Okay, let's dig in. She starts with a checklist, right? A money after job loss checklist.
Yep. And the first item is maybe not what you'd expect. It's about physical comfort.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Her first point is calm your nervous system. Get comfortable.
Why start there?
Well, think about it. When you're stressed, anxious, panicked, making good financial decisions, it's way harder.
Okay. So getting your basic needs met first helps clear your head.
Exactly. She uses that analogy. Don't go shopping hungry. Same principle. Address the physical stress first.
Makes perfect sense. Okay, step one, get comfortable. What's the immediate action step after that?
File for unemployment benefits immediately. Don't wait.
Right. Seems obvious, but crucial for that safety net.
And crucial for eligibility, too. Sometimes there are deadlines, so delaying can actually cost you money.
Good point. Okay, unemployment filed. Then she talks about figuring out that final paycheck. It's not always straightforward, is it?
No, definitely not. You need to ask for a really detailed breakdown from HR.
What should be in that breakdown?
Your usual hours, of course. But also any unused vacation pay you're owed, maybe severance details. And this is key, especially for public sector listeners. Check your unaccumulated sick time balance.
Unaccumulated sick time. Why is that important if you don't get paid for it?
Because in many government jobs, if you get rehired later, that sick leave can sometimes be reinstated. It's a potential future benefit. Worth knowing the number.
Wow, okay, that's a really specific, valuable tip for that group. Okay, final pay sorted. Next big stressor, health insurance.
Always a big one. Jen covers the main options. COBRA is there, but...
Expensive, usually very expensive.
Yeah, well, she mentions that from her own experience. So then look at healthcare.gov.
The marketplace.
Right. It can be much more reasonable, often based on your current income. Don't be intimidated, just explore it.
And what about other options?
Medicaid. She brings it up as a totally viable temporary option, especially if you're single with zero income right now.
And she stresses not feeling weird about using it.
Exactly. Destigmatize it. It's there for situations like this. It's a safety net.
Good to lay out those different tiers. Now, she gets pretty firm on the next point. Retirement accounts, like your 401k.
Oh, yeah. Very firm. Her advice is crystal clear. Avoid cashing out retirement funds unless it is the absolute very last resort.
Why so strong on that? The money's tempting when things are tight.
Because the long-term hit is huge. You've got taxes, penalties. But the biggest loss is killing off that compound interest. You're robbing your future self, essentially.
That compounding is powerful over decades.
Yeah.
Okay, so protect the retirement funds. What's next on the immediate checklist?
Being proactive with debt. Call your creditors.
Like credit cards, loans?
Yep. Call them up, explain the situation, ask about hardship programs. Can they pause payments, reduce them temporarily?
Is that intimidating? Calling creditors.
It can feel like it, but Jen reassures people it's usually just about whether you fit their system's criteria for hardship. It's often less personal than you might think.
Okay, so it's worth a call. What else for immediate action?
Cancel your autopays, all of them.
Why? They're convenient.
Convenient when income is steady. When it stops, autopay can trigger overdraft fees, late fees on other things. It's a mess.
Right. So switch to manual payments for now to control where the money goes.
Exactly. A little inconvenient now saves you big penalty costs later.
Makes sense. And the last item on this initial list.
Go through your exit paperwork carefully. Really read it.
What might be in there?
Info on extended benefits, maybe who you can use for references, any outplacement services the company offers to help your job search.
Useful stuff potentially hidden in the fine print.
Definitely. She also mentioned a big federal employee resource link, probably overwhelming, but worth knowing it exists, if that's you. And she nods to other resources like Joyce Gioia's job search tips from her previous session and mindset work.
Right, context is helpful. Okay, that's a solid initial checklist. Now let's shift to stabilizing cash flow right now. She talks emergency funds first.
Yeah, the ideal is having that 3 to 6 months of expenses saved. That buys you time, breathing room.
But what if you don't have that? Which is common.
Then her advice is crucial. Don't beat yourself up. Move forward from where you are now. Focus on managing what you do have. Blame doesn't help.
Good message. So if there's a gap between income, maybe unemployment, and expenses, what's the core strategy?
It's simple on paper. Prioritize spending, cut back temporarily on the less essential stuff.
Because cash flow is just income minus expenses.
Exactly. Income dropped, so expenses have to adjust immediately.
How do you figure out where to adjust? What's the practical first step?
Get organized. You need to see where the money is actually going. Call it a budget, a cash flow plan, a spending chart, doesn't matter.
Just understand the inflows and outflows.
Precisely. Keep it simple, something you understand. You can't make good cuts if you don't know where the money's leaking.
Okay, so get that financial picture clear. Then what? How do you prioritize?
She recommends a top-to-bottom approach. Identify the absolute must-haves.
Like what?
Food, basic utilities, got to keep the lights on. Water running, housing, rent, or mortgage. Essential transportation, getting to interviews, necessary errands.
The four walls, basically.
Pretty much. Secure those first. Then you look at everything else and start cutting from the bottom up. The least essential things go first. This is good practice, even when times aren't tough, honestly.
True. Okay, prioritizing makes sense. Now, she had some specific, maybe less obvious ways to find cash quickly. First one was unclaimed funds.
Yeah, this one's fascinating. Check your state's unclaimed property website. Iowa's is called the Great Iowa Treasure Hunt, apparently.
Unclaimed funds from where?
Old bank accounts you forgot, maybe an insurance payout, uncashed checks or rebates. There are national databases, too.
Seriously. People find money this way.
Jen shared stories. Sometimes it's small, like $150 someone found, sometimes more. Worth a quick search, definitely. You never know.
Wow, okay. Free money search check. What's another big cash drain she mentioned?
Subscriptions. Oh boy, subscriptions.
We all have too many, right?
Absolutely. Streaming, music, apps, meal kits. They add up incredibly fast. Jen says do a ruthless audit.
Cancel what you don't use.
Cancel or maybe rotate. Like, have one streaming service for a bit, binge what you want, then switch to another. Don't pay for 5 at once if you're not using them all heavily.
Smart. Okay, subscriptions audited. What's next? A big one.
Eating out. And takeout.
Yeah, that adds up fast.
Hugely.
Yeah.
Cooking at home, even if you make your favorite restaurant-style meals, is almost always way cheaper. Frame it as temporary, a way to bridge the gap.
Good perspective. What else can be trimmed?
Connection costs.
Yeah.
Cell phone, internet, cable.
How do you save on those?
For cell phones, look into MVNOs, mobile virtual network operators. They use the big networks, but often have much cheaper unlimited plans. She gave an example like $75 for 3 lines.
Well, okay. And internet.
Call your provider, ask for discounts, promotions, threaten politely to leave. Sometimes just asking gets you a better deal. She said she checks periodically for new offers.
Persistence pays off. Cable.
Probably ditch it if you can. Standalone internet plus maybe 1 or 2 chosen streaming services is usually much cheaper than a big cable bundle.
Makes sense. Lots of fat to trim there, potentially. What was her last immediate cash-saving tip?
Use what you already have. Shop your pantry, your freezer, your bathroom closet first.
Before buying new groceries or toiletries.
Exactly. We often think there's no food, when actually there are cans, frozen veggies, pasta. Get creative with meals using existing stock before you spend more. Same with shampoo, soap, etc.
Be resourceful. I like that. And she emphasized the mindset around these cuts.
Yeah, very important. See them as temporary concessions, strategic moves to conserve cash while you find a new job, not permanent deprivation. Makes it easier to stick with.
Okay, great practical tips for immediate stabilization. Now, let's look longer term. Crisis-proofing your money. Where does she start with that?
She starts by saying you probably already know the key. Think back to when you got the layoff news. What was that immediate, I wish I would have thought?
Like, I wish I would have saved more or paid off that credit card.
Exactly. Whatever your specific I wish was, that's your personal roadmap for future financial resilience. Don't dwell on it now with blame, but file it away. That's the goal once you're employed again.
Learn from the pinch. Okay, so what's her actual framework for building that resilience? She has it 3 steps, right?
Yep, a clear 1-2-3 plan, but this is for after you're reemployed and stable again.
Got it. Step 1.
Save a 1-month emergency fund. Just 1 month.
1 month of what expenses? Everything.
1 month of your core essentials: housing, utilities, food, transport, those 4 walls we talked about.
Yeah.
The amount will vary hugely person to person, so you need to know your numbers.
Okay, step 1.
Uh,
1 month core expenses saved. Step 2.
Pay off all bad debt aggressively.
How does she define bad debt?
Pretty much everything except your primary home mortgage, maybe one reliable car loan, and sometimes federal student loans, depending on rates and programs. So credit cards, personal loans, store cards, get rid of them.
Why is that so crucial?
Imagine facing another layoff with 0 credit card payments, 0 personal loan payments due each month. It hugely reduces your minimum outgoing cash needs in a crisis.
Massive difference. Okay, step 2. Kill bad debt. Step 3.
Grow that initial 1-month emergency fund into a full 3 to 6 month emergency fund, covering all your typical monthly expenses now, not just the core.
And that's the buffer that turns a crisis into.
An inconvenience. It buys you significant time and peace of mind. Freedom, really.
That's a powerful progression. What's the big idea behind this whole 1-2-3 plan?
It boils down to control. Life throws curveballs, job losses, health issues, whatever. You can't control those, but you can control how you manage your money.
Build a foundation that doesn't rely on everything always going perfectly.
Exactly. Financial success shouldn't need constant sunny days. It needs preparedness for storms.
Really empowering way to think about it. Okay, the coaching event also had Q&A. Let's touch on some key questions that came up. One big one: 401k versus taking on debt.
Yeah, a tough spot. Jen doubled down. Avoid that 401k withdrawal if at all possible. The long-term damage, taxes, penalties, lost growth is just too severe. She also noted the current market might make it the worst time to sell investments.
So what should someone do if they're desperate?
Explore less damaging debt first, maybe a low-interest personal loan or a 0% introductory APR credit card only as a short-term bridge. But, and this is critical, that's debt, not income. It has to be budgeted for repayment.
And exhaust other options first.
Absolutely. Maximize unemployment. Check every single assistance program, rental aid, food banks. Explore side hustles for temporary income before touching retirement or taking on risky debt.
Got it. Protect the future. Another question was about family, getting your spouse, kids, etc. on board with cutting back.
Yeah, that's tricky territory. Jen's advice: transparency and teamwork. Don't just impose rules. Explain the situation. Things are different for a bit. Not good or bad.
Involve them in finding solutions.
Yes. Ask for their ideas. How can we save money on groceries? What fun things can we do at home instead of going out? Make it collaborative. Cook together. Plan movie nights.
Build resilience as a family.
Exactly. Joyce Joya added tips like buying near-expiry food cheap, using rotisserie chickens for easy meals, hitting food banks, saving a game, splitting bulk, buys all ways to make it less painful and more of a shared effort.
Makes sense. What about panic spending? That urge to buy stuff when you feel anxious.
A real issue. Jen's advice: create space. Pause between the impulse and the action. If anxiety makes you want to spend, try doing the opposite.
Like put the item back, walk away for an hour.
Yeah. Have a list of non-spending activities you can do when emotions flare up. Take a walk, call a friend, listen to music. She shared waiting an hour before buying concert tickets and realizing she didn't really need them.
Delay and distract.
Pretty much. Joyce mentioned Vedix.org for free event tickets for veterans, and Jen reminded folks to check for any lingering post-federal employment discounts.
Good tips. Last Q&A point.
Yeah.
What if you were already behind on bills before the layoff? What's the priority?
Stability first. Jen was clear. Prioritize keeping the 4 walls secure: housing, utilities, food, transport. Stay current on those above all else.
Even if it means falling further behind on, say, a credit card.
For the immediate term, yes. Communicate with those other creditors.
Yeah.
Explain the hardship. Ask for deferment or smaller payments. Don't spread your limited funds so thin trying to pay a little on everything that you risk eviction or losing power.
Focus resources on survival needs first.
Right. The goal now is stability, not paying every single bill perfectly on time if you simply can't. Joyce also chimed in about finding bogus subscription charges when she reviewed her own bills, a reminder to check statements ruthlessly.
Absolutely. Those sneaky charges add up. Okay, so let's wrap this deep dive up. What are the core messages for someone facing this?
I think it's about taking control where you can. Use that checklist structure to tackle immediate tasks. Then, ruthlessly manage cash flow essentials first, cut the rest. And crucially, have that long-term 1-2-3 plan in mind for after you land your next job, the emergency funds, and debt elimination.
It really feels like the theme is empowerment, even when things feel out of control.
Definitely. Taking action, any action, makes a huge psychological difference. Small steps matter.
So final thought for you listening.
Yeah.
Think about that I wish I would have moment again. Not with regret, but with purpose. What's one small thing you can do now, today, based on that insight, to start building more awareness or preparedness for the future? Even tough times can spark lasting positive changes. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.